We're back. So, just want to say, today was my first day of second year, and I thought today would be the best day to do this video, and then I'll try and post it by Wednesday, which will be my second proper day of uni. But I want to say I did video today of what was today, and none of the videos are on my phone. So, we're just going to forget about that, and we'll start the vlog again properly tomorrow. But today, I'm going to talk about my first year. So, I've written down a couple of questions that I can think of, but I have put a question box on my Instagram literally like 5 minutes ago. So, hopefully, there'll be more questions that I could do a part 2 of this video, but hopefully. Disclaimer, I do want to say that everyone's journey, no matter if you're a dance uni student, dance college student, or even just normal academic uni student, everyone's journey is different, and this was just my journey. So my first question is, what college do I go to? So I go to Performers College in Essex, so fun, and I am on the BA Honours Musical Theatre and Dance degree. My next question is, what made me come to Performers? When I came for my audition, this was the only uni that showed my parents around, which I love, because not only did my mum not have to go off what I thought of the uni, but she also got to see the uni and have her own opinion on it, even though I know she's not here, but want to know that you're safe and that you're going to enjoy it, and that, yeah, just know that it's the right college for you, and not just go off what you say. So that was the first thing I liked about Performers, was they showed parents around while we were in the classes auditioning. The second thing was they had the students at the time, so third or second years, I can't remember, I think mine were third years, they had them helping, so we could ask them questions and they would give us their honest opinion. Obviously, more on the fact that it's amazing and to get you to come, but also because they don't want to sell you the wrong idea. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's another thing I like. And also just because it's just a gorgeous campus. I didn't go look at the Birmingham one, I just did Essex, and honestly, it's stunning. Like, it's a massive facility. There's like 20 odd studios to dance in. There's a gym. The faculty are lovely. Like, everyone is just amazing, and it is such a great like college to come to. What were my preconceptions of first year? So in my head, my dream of first year would have been smooth sailing, no injuries, made my best friends here, and I'd have had the time of my life. Like, toned up a bit, done show term. It was just gonna be smooth sailing. No one ever really talked about the downside of it. What were the downsides of first year as a whole? So first year for me, the downsides were the first time I'm living quite far away from home. The days are long. Like, I knew they were long, but actually doing them, they're long. And just being able to cope with the new routine. Injury, that was another thing. I mean, college were great, like they have their own physio, but like coping with that injury mentally as well as obviously physically was another hard thing. What else? I think that was everything really, the downsides. Yeah. What is my experience so far with living away from home and with other musical theatre students? So previously I went to Liverpool Central Studios and I lived in a host family, so I wasn't used to living with other dance students, but I lived away from home 5 days a week and smooth sailing. It was fine. I didn't mind living away from home then because I was going back every weekend and I was with a family, so it was a family home. Now, so I'm 5.5 hours away-ish from home, and obviously I don't go back every weekend. And that's hard. Like, saying goodbye to my mum that first time, my god, I cried for like an hour straight, and I had lashes on, so by the time I'd finished crying, there were no lashes left. It does get easier saying goodbye to your parents when you get dropped off or when you get on that train. It does get easier. My experience of living with other musical theatre and dance students was very fun, very hectic. There was always someone singing, always. Just fun. And sometimes you're at your butt heads, like you turn into like sisters, like you're living with them, for God's sake. Of course you're going to turn into like family. That kind of gets pushed aside no matter what fallout is or what the drama is. Yeah, I enjoyed living with other musical theatre students, and I was lucky because none of the girls that I lived with were in my group uni for first year, so I was coming home to a different base. It wasn't going to be the same people I was in the class with all day. How did I find first year overall? Hard. First year for me was tough. I'm just going to kind of run through the year for me. So first year started off with the first 2 weeks like we are now of freshers. Amazing. I loved freshers week. Like the assessments we did, I was fine. I was a little nervous. Obviously everyone's a bit nervous that first day, but I was fine because I walked in with the girls I lived with. Like that, them first 2 weeks were fine. The third week we got put in our groups. Now I can't really remember this, but I got put into the group. I think I did 2 days or 3 days that week, and the anxiety started to get a bit worse every day just because I was meeting new teachers. I was knackered as well. Like my body and my brain just weren't used to it, and also also to top off that, I was trialing the highest dose of an ADHD medication, which I can't remember the name of for the life of me. So it was kind of a rough time. So my mental health was dipping because of the stress and the medication, but also I was struggling to make friends and gel with the group. Now the group are lovely, like they're great, like honestly, but it's just me. Like they're such big personalities, and honestly, it's just me. Like my anxiety was really getting the better of me, and I'm not gonna lie, it still is. Like I'm nervous to be in a group again, so I didn't really socialise much. I wouldn't go to the pub, wouldn't go out. I would literally either go to uni and come home, or wouldn't make it in some days, which is really heartbreaking. Or I'd make it in and won't make it into the class. So that was like September. October, my mental health dipped even more. I would say I probably entered the barrier of being quite depressed. But this was mainly down to my medication, we figured in the end. So my mum said, stop the medication, just stop. So I stopped taking the medication completely, which you're not meant to do, and it did make me worse for a couple of weeks. And because I was that stressed and that anxious, I did end up cricking my neck, which is like where nerves and muscles in your neck kind of get really tight, and you like turn it one way and it pulls. So I did that. So I was out of dance in the end, and I was in a lot of pain, like I couldn't lie down, I just couldn't get comfy. So I ended up having to go home early for October half term, which was kind of good in a way because I had a reset of being here. So I reset, came back. Christmas term I did, but I was still very anxious because I missed so much, and yeah, still wasn't great. Was getting in, but not all the time, and my anxiety was not great because I was again struggling to make connections within the group, and it's not their fault, like they don't know me, and I obviously haven't been there enough for them to know me. So they did try, bless them, like hats off to them, they really did try with me, but I was that nervous that I couldn't cope in the environment. So then Christmas came, had a nice time off, went home, and then came back. I was like, right, fresh start, new year, new me, fresh start. Was gonna try and ignore the anxiety as much as I could. I had new medication. This is when I started the Elevance. I was on quite low dose of the Elevance, so I started that. It was fine. Anxiety was just, I was trying to ignore it, trying to power through. Still, my body wasn't used to dancing all day, coming home, making tea, like cleaning, going to bed a decent hour. I couldn't sleep because I was stressed about the next day, and it just kind of was on a repetitive cycle. So my body was struggling a bit. I was knackered, meaning when it got to Wednesday, which is kind of an ADHD like meltdown day for me because I'm so overtired and so overworked, by Wednesday I was struggling to get through the rest of the week. But we did it, and then it came to just before Feb half term, I ended up being injured, but little did I know it was an injury. So I went to see the physio just because I was struggling a bit kneeling down. It was quite tight back of my leg, so that was the only reason I actually went, was because I had a really tight leg. So she massaged it out. Went back the following week, and my knee had swollen up, and it just kind of got progressively worse. We had reading week, came back, did my resits for semester 1. Yeah, I was struggling dancing. I didn't really dance much. When I danced, I wasn't jumping or anything, no floor work, so it kind of got restricted more and more and more as the weeks were going on. By the 4th week, which was the week before Easter half term, she referred me to the dance consultant in Myland, I think it's called, hospital. So I had Easter holidays. I went away to Tenerife, which was lovely. Struggling with my knee still, like in the heat, in the water, it was just blowing up. It was really, really big. Like if I showed you a photo, you'd be like, wow. It was quite enlarged. Came back after Easter, was danced one day, and then ended up on crutches because I couldn't walk on my knee or on my leg. Like I just couldn't put any weight on it. I was in that much pain. So then I didn't really go in much. I had hospital appointments to get scans checked. Nothing was showing up apart from a really enlarged fat pad in my knee, which he actually said is actually really painful. So we understand how much pain you're in. So had that, came back, still on crutches, still watching. And obviously, as a dancer, if you know, watching is like torture. It's horrible. I hate sitting and watching because everyone is laughing, having a good time, doing something you really enjoy, and you physically can't do it without any pain, or actually can't do it because you can't move. So yeah, it was quite emotionally draining as well as physically because you were sat there all day watching. I didn't learn any of my semester 2 exam work with being injured and sat out. Didn't end up doing show term either because I needed to do my resits, so I had to focus on my resits, and because I hadn't danced majority of the year after Christmas. So I didn't do show term, which is really upsetting because it means I'm only going to get to do show term this year, and that's it because you don't do show term in 3rd year because you graduate. So yeah, I did my resits. I met one of my best friends, Leah, while doing resits, and then it was summer. I went home and had a great summer. But yeah, first year was really, really rough for me, and overall bad experience. Like I don't have many memories from first year on my phone or in my mind. The only memories I have are me either being mentally ill, actually ill, injured, and just not in a great place. So that was my overall first year. Okay, pick and ick on first year. My pick would be meeting Leah, and also I've got 3. Okay, right. Meeting Leah in resits, as much as resits were awful. Living with the girls I lived with last year. Precious 2 weeks last year were my best 2 weeks of uni the whole year. In one word, describe your first year as a whole. Upsetting. Yeah, I'd go with upsetting just because I envisioned such a great first year and obviously that didn't go to plan. One thing I'm looking forward to in second year. A fresh start, kind of. I'm trying to make that social bubble, like, and also being able to dance. Like, yeah, I'm just really excited for second year, sorry. And like meet loads of new teachers. Yeah, my main one will be being able to socialise and win over that fear now of socialising and making some memories. They're the things I'm really excited for. Mainly dancing also because I've not danced properly in a long time. My last question, your top tip for new first years. Honestly, I'd just say soak it all in, and if you're struggling, ask for help, because that's where I really went wrong, was I waited so long to ask for help. And obviously I realised college have got a really good wellbeing team. Soak it all in, enjoy everything you can, and push your boat like out. Like, do something you wouldn't do. So like mine at the moment would be I wouldn't go up to a new person and just introduce myself. Like, if that's yours, do it. You've got nothing to lose. Yeah, just enjoy it and try and make the most of it, because it flies by. It really does. Even if you're there or not there, like, it flies by. Take everything you can out of each lesson. Like, yeah, just basically take everything you can and push your boundaries. That's what I would say is my top tip for first years. I'm actually going to tell you my worries about second year also, because obviously I've said about one thing I'm looking forward to, but I have got a couple of worries about second year, which I shouldn't really put out into the universe, but I am gonna, because then they're out my brain. So one is singing in front of my group. So we've got this thing called PNR this year, which we haven't had the intro to yet. We have got it this week, and it's basically singing in front of your group. You get a different like genre or different theme each week, and that's something that really isn't good for an anxious person, is singing in front of a group of people you don't really know or you haven't met before. Where my situation is obviously I know the people, but I don't know them well enough to be comfortable to do that. So I'm nervous for that. I'm also nervous for the workload. So obviously I said I struggled quite a bit last year with the workload, and that wasn't a lot. Last year was a lot of practical. So like going in every day and dancing every day. This year there's that as well as like the written work on top. So that'll be, yeah, fun seeing how I juggle with that. What else am I nervous for? Socialising. At the moment I'm currently with the same group as I was with last year. Obviously they've all got their really strong friendships they've already made from first year. So now being put into that and trying to find my own friendships within their strong friendships is going to be a tough one. Obviously I've got Leah, but Leah's in a different group, which is really annoying. But yeah, I'm just going to see how this week goes. Take it day by day and just be calm. Don't let the anxiety rule my life. That's another tip. Don't let anxiety rule your life, which is what I've done for this first year, and I massively regret. Like, when I tell people at home that I've let my anxiety rule my life and that a bit of social anxiety now, they're like, what? Really? Like, you don't shut up. Yeah, really. Yeah, they're my worries for second year, but hopefully I'll be able to update you all in a couple of weeks and say, don't know what I was worrying about because I'm having the blast. So I'm gonna be not interviewing, but asking these exact questions to a couple of people I was in first year with, just so that you can get a different person's perspective on their first year, because obviously, as I said, everyone's first year is different. This is just my story of my first year. But yeah, and I'll might make this into like a little series, I don't know. I was thinking I'll do probably the same for second year and third year. To describe first year.
Chaotic.
Your top tip for first year?
I'd say just be yourself. Like, everyone's so accepting. Just take the training, and it's whole family, so don't even worry about it. Woo!
Tip for first year?
I'm international and I got accepted, so don't be scared if you're international.